It's for many of us around this time is also marks the first year of being 100% remote or in some sort of modified condition. So I want to create space. Feel free to share in chat too throughout ways in which you've been impacted by the situation or how you're coping, but we'll also create space to hear each other out too in breakout groups at the end. So occasion number one is that 1 year anniversary. Not a fun anniversary, not a good anniversary, but it's nonetheless an anniversary. And of course, at that time, right, 1 year ago today, I was thinking, oh my God, we have this amazing Connects event in 2020. And this is going to be a great start of all these different ways we're going to get together to celebrate the 20th year of Communication Leadership Program, which was emerging or coming up. Well, we're pivoting all the time these days, right? And that hasn't turned out exactly as we planned, although it still turned out. We're still celebrating. And as you can see above me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the marking, but it doesn't show my figure, but this logo right above us, designed by many of our alumni as feedback, will be displayed more abundantly from this point forward as we mark the occasion and start celebrating by way of this Connects, the 20th year of this amazing community. A community, again, that has stuck through so many challenges, including this unprecedented one, because we haven't been around for a century, but there were programs maybe that have seen another pandemic, but this is our first pandemic together, but many other crises together too, and many other opportunities and exciting ways of understanding our world. In fact, the world has been transforming since the launch of this program, but faster perhaps these days than ever. But we are also starting celebrating our 20th year, although virtually, still with a lot of excitement and joy of each other and of this program. So that's the second occasion why we're here for. The third one is, and it's connected to first and the second actually, is to kind of talk a little bit about the upcoming Connects event, which will be a part of kind of us starting thinking about where we're at in our 20th year. And it is about that world that I found myself in a year ago, a transformed world. So we're going to talk about what this year's annual Comm Lead public event will be like, what we'll be talking about. And in smaller groups today and in our community, we're going to start addressing some of the issues that we'll be tackling with our amazing guest speakers, whose information you can now see by way of the Eventbrite chat, and register if you haven't done so. And I'll also share a little bit of the opportunities that will be available at that event as well. So with that, I just want to give you a quick lineup of what we'll actually be doing today. So I just did the introduction. So welcome everyone. So excited to see all of you. And then we'll move on just in a minute. I'll turn it over to our student event and student lead of alumni affairs and outreach, Kirsten, who will actually have a very fun and exciting kind of engagement plan for you in celebration of our 20th year, a trivia game with a prize. So get ready and have your devices ready as well. Right, Kirsten? I think we're going to use devices to participate. And I promise I won't, those of us who've seen the questions or know the answers won't participate. So it's a fair game for all. And then after that engagement, we're going to move back to me. I'll talk very briefly about Comm Lead Connects, and the last half an hour or so will be in smaller groups led by each one of us, a member of the Comm Lead team, kind of reflecting on, as we will in the Connects event, about the broader theme of what it means to be a transformed world and what it means for our own professional context today. So welcome everyone. And at this point, to start the celebrations and to start also the co-thinking and collaborating and game playing. I'm very competitive, although I'm not playing today. I'm turning it over to Kirsten, who will tell us more about what's coming up.
Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we're gonna get started. All you need for, that's not it. 1 second. All you need for this game is your phone, and just to be able to see the screen because your phone won't show the question. There we go. Okay. Are you all seeing the Kahoot page, hopefully?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so all you need to do is go to kahoot.it, and if you type just that in, it'll pop up. You can put in a nickname, we're already seeing one. And as soon as we have close to the number that we have in the Zoom room, we will get started.
And I know Ekin would approve trash talking in the chat box. It's going to be hard for her not to compete. So you all have to make it up to her by actually engaging in a little bit of back and forth. Yeah, she wants to see it.
Exactly.
Yes, Emily, I'm feeling it showing. Bring gritty to the chat box.
If I was playing, I would be winning, although I saw the question. So it's a very hard day for me, everyone. I recommend no one to ever play any board games with me.
I think we need to check all of these accounts, Kirsten, and make sure that Ekin is not entered in, she's coming in with some made up name and is going to just crush the competition.
No, you're just giving her ideas.
That's true.
Exactly. Yes. Turkish Delight 1, 2, 3 might not be me.
Turkish Delight 1, 2, 3, definitely not Ekin.
We have 40 participants, but I'm not sure how many Comm Lead people we have. So people have already seen this. So if someone could take just a guess and let me know what number I should be waiting for.
I think we have we're going up, but I think we're more or less there.
Yeah. I see some very good people in terms of up to the challenge of this trivia game that you've created, Kirsten, which is fantastic.
I also want to take just a quick moment to welcome Anita. Anita, hello. Thank you for joining us, Anita, as always, and still is an amazing member of our community. And Anita, in collaboration with Kirsten and with many of us, is helping us envision the 20th year celebration. So thank you, Anita, for joining us as always, and particularly today as well. Hello, and please do not join the game as well. You have an unfair advantage. I'm joking.
I am not joining the game. I will be helping Kirsten with announcing the correct answers, though, since Kahoot doesn't provide it for you.
Great.
So it's a team effort, but Kirsten gets huge props for creating this game. Fabulous job. And Liyao was wonderful consultation as well. And so that's all to be said. We will be taking no lip. Our answers are the final answers, and they are the winning answer, or they are the right answers. So you can trash talk all you want in the chat box. I see you, Jazz. I see you in there. But like any trivia game, we rule. Our answers rule. Take it up with somebody else, not us.
I think we're okay, Kirsten. Yeah, I think this.
The numbers haven't moved too much, so I'm going to go ahead and start. So this is all about how well do you know Comm Lead. So we'll just jump right in.
Good luck.
Our first question is, who was the person to give the Master of Communication and Digital Media its namesake? You have 30 seconds to answer each of the questions. Awesome. So the correct answer was Tony Gifford, and Anita has some fun facts for you about him.
Well, Tony Giffard used to be the chair of the department, and something that might not be known to everyone is that our program was one of the first self-sustaining graduate programs on the University of Washington campus. He is credited with coming up with the Master of Communication in Digital Media. That digital media moniker is his. And we were so impressed with his foresight, given that he came up with that 20 years ago, that we actually presented an award in his name at the first Screen Summit held many years ago. So fun fact about Tony Giffard, he is credited with that name.
Awesome. And just to let you know, there are going to be scoreboards every in
Oh,
between.
this is great.
However, I'm a little confused as to some of
why Doris has 911 points.
Okay, on to the next question. So who was the original director of Comm Lead?
Has everyone answered?
Usually it pops, it'll stop going.
There we go.
The correct answer is Tai Lu.
Yep, T.Y. Lau. And so he was the original director of, at the time it was called the Master of Communication in Digital Media. Good try, those that went for Hanson. Yes, and I agree, Heather, lots of love. He'd appreciate that.
Okay, and on to the next question.
Yes, again. Oh, wait for the tricky questions.
I would like to say the ghost is, we tested this beforehand, so the ghost was Liyao and she knew the answers, so we'll go with who isn't Liyao, and that'll be the winner in the end.
Doris, doing well. Very impressive for cohort 20, no less.
Okay, on to the next question. So what year did Comm Lead first integrate clients into Coursework?
Be very careful. No, Doris, it is not luck. Don't say that. You have talent, innate talent. Let's see if you can go 3 for 3.
Okay, so the correct answer was 2009.
Yes, and in 2009, Hanson's storytelling course was the first to integrate clients' work. In 2010, his foundational research classes also did the same, and they worked with organizations, and I remember this, the Pacific Science Center, the Common Language Project, which was the precursor to the Seattle Globalist, which Alex Stonehill was involved with, and Jessica Partnow, a number of you are taking her class this quarter, and also the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency.
Okay, and I also have gotten a request to maybe have some of the music going. If it gets annoying, just let me know. Hopefully it plays, and if it does not, I apologize.
Or we can share, someone can share their music as well, just off of a playlist.
Okay, yeah.
No, but Jazz likes the music. Jazz likes, let's play the music. Jazz says the music is so good.
Okay, quick question. Can anyone hear the music?
No.
Okay, it says that it's on. However,
I think, yeah, you might have to change the settings in the share.
When you share, you have to share your computer audio too.
I did click that. However, it's not doing it. So if anyone has any other ideas, let me know. Because it has it clicked in the bottom corner. But if not, someone else can try and play music if that's an option.
Yes, you can Jeopardy via phone. That's perfect.
Okay, and so on to the next question. Oh.
There's some sound.
Yeah, that was piercing. Okay, so maybe it does work. So on to the next question. Sorry about that. In 2015, the first annual Comm Lead Common Book was established. Which of these titles was the...
Ooh, I hear the music.
Okay, so the correct answer was Geek Hearsay, rescuing social change from the cult of technology.
That's right. And as many of you on this call know, How to Do Nothing and Hitmakers were also common books the years following Geek Heresy. And the only one that was not a common book was The Inevitable. And the author of the common book was formerly with Microsoft Research, Kentaro Toyama, and he is now the dean of the iSchool at University of Michigan, I believe.
You're just throwing new fun facts. I didn't know that one.
There you go.
Just a quick note, Kirsten. I think the screen blurred with the music, so we'll
Yes.
try out again when we try. I think when the music goes in, although it's the most amazing soundtrack ever, that people pick their favorite color. That's a great approach. but we'll prompt you right away too, and read you the perhaps options too. But let's try again. It's clear for me now. I think it's clear for many of you.
Mhm.
I can see very clearly. But when we were asking the question, I think when everyone was in, it got blurred.
Okay, someone just unmute and let me know if I need to read out
Will do.
answers. Thank you. Okay, on to the next one. So, true or false? Heather and Anita joined Comm Lead the same year.
It's clear now.
Oh, good. Awesome. So the answer was true.
Anyone got a year in the chat? Extra points if you have the year. First person to put it in the chat. First person to put it in the chat. First person to put it in the chat. Kyati wins. 2010.
Awesome.
Okay, Kirsten, go ahead. On we go.
Doing great, y'all. Okay, on to the next question. Who of the following is not a current? Awesome. So the answer is Amy Rainey.
Yes, and Amy was a previous alumni fellow. She also was a manager of the alumni fellows her second year. I think she was part of the inaugural group of alumni fellows, and there are currently 8, as many of you know, some on this call. We've got Steph Hirsch, Joe Hunich, Scott Morris, Camilla Pichus. Has she had her twins yet? Does anybody know? Put that in the chat. Tori Pinheiro, Ben Porter, Tong Tong Chu, and Yvonne Xiao, the OG IGer.
Awesome. Okay, on to the next. Okay, what year did the program become known as communication leadership? Yes, so the correct year was 2013.
Yes, when we added the Master of Communication in Communities and Networks. Oh my gosh, Camilla had her twins. Somebody needs to put a photograph up.
And with that good news, on to the next one. Okay. Our next question is, in 2016, which of the following initiatives was started to provide opportunities for students? Comm Lead's partner program.
That's right. It was officially launched in 2016. Molly Schachter had a lot to do with that, but the community scholarship predates the actual partner program, and folks like Scott Macklin, who's currently still teaching with the program, had a lot to do with putting forward similar initiatives for students to work with real clients and get paid for that work.
Ooh, we have a 6 correct answers in a row. That's impressive. Okay, and on to the next. We'll see if we can keep that. True or false?
Oh, go Rini.
Consultancy was started in 2019 and later took on the role of COVID consulting in 2020. Awesome. So that answer is false.
Yes, and I see Susan in the chat, and I was just, Ekin beat me to it. I was like, Susan, you got to get this one. It was originally the COVID consultancy, founded in 2020, now doing amazing work. I keep hearing all the cool things that are happening in terms of the talks with the Comm Lead consultancy. So well done. And Susan, thanks so much for your leadership from the very start.
Okay, and okay, on to the next. Who of the following is not a current?
Oh man, I kind of gave this away.
Awesome. The correct answer is Molly.
I kind of gave this away. I name dropped her just a couple questions ago. Sorry about that, Kirsten. I went off script.
Not a problem. Okay.
Yes, Molly was our original. Sorry, you're like, Anita, what are you going to say about Molly? Original head of outreach, and as mentioned earlier, was really brought the partner program to life, and is also a very proud member of cohort 17. Again, they bring us together in victory.
Okay, next question is, where was the first Friday?
Oh yes, I cannot wait to see who gets this.
So the correct answer is the Nickerson Street Saloon.
Yes, and there's a reason for this. So while many might remember that there were a lot of First Fridays held up at the Rat and Raven, which I don't even know if it still exists up on the Ave in the U District, the first Friday, according to Hanson, who hosted it, was at the Nickerson Street Saloon, which is just on the other side of the Fremont Bridge, very close to the northern slope of Queen Anne, which is at the time where Hanson was living. And the Nickerson Street Saloon gave him a good deal if he would bring in folks for a happy hour. And so he did, and that was the first Friday.
And the Rat and Raven, I looked it up, it does not exist any longer.
Oh, so that is also a ghost of Seattle.
Yeah, sadly.
The Nickerson Street Saloon does. Anyone that wants to do, a tour of original First Friday destinations could go and get a beer at the Nickerson Street Saloon.
Take a trip down memory lane for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which of these entities did the CDM convene the Seattle edition of the Tedx? correct answer was the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Indeed. And this is a little tricky because Comm Lead has been involved with two TEDx's. TEDx Change, which was co-sponsored with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, was held on the University of Washington campus. And fun fact, Bill Gates Sr. referred to Hansen by the first name Bruce. Nobody knows why, but we called him Bruce for years after that. And then a year later, or actually, I'm sorry. So this was in, we also were the Comm Lead was, or at the time it was called MCDM, was involved with TEDx Seattle, the first TEDx Seattle, held down at the Pacific Science Center, and it was also a stunning success. So the program has a lot of history when it comes to some of the earliest TEDx's happening in the city.
Okay.
Who's in the lead now?
It looks
Got a
like
couple questions left. Oh, Reni's going to be one to beat. All right, someone's coming after her. AM.
you've got 3 questions left. Okay, how many students were there in the first? So the correct answer is 19.
Yes, the first MCCN cohort started at Comm Lead in autumn quarter 2013, 19 students, and it was a big year for Comm Lead. We rolled out our brand new name, Communication Leadership, offered the MCCN degree, and it was the first cohort of alumni fellows. All happened in 2013.
Okay, 2 questions left.
Oh my gosh, Anushi has passed Rini by a mere 38 points.
Very close. Okay, which of these was not affiliated with Conley? Correct answer is COVID-19 and science communication.
Right, that was held with the College of the Environment last year. But the other 3, Let's Have Dinner and Talk About Death, What Happened, the 2016 election panel, and the Center for an Informed Public all have Comm Lead or MCDM engagement. Oh yes, the first one, Rini, we can do like an oldie and goodie. We'll put I bet we've got information about that we can drop in chat. That was an independent study that Scott Macklin had students collaborating with an architecture firm down in Pioneer Square. And oh my goodness, his name is Michael Hebb, a sort of public chef / convener. And they created an interactive table to talk about difficult things. And in this case, it was around death. And so the interactive table had both recording devices and video devices, and they recorded one another having a conversation about death. And it became, oh, thank you, became Death Over Dinner. It turned into a larger movement that I think even ended up with, I think there was something published, but it started with a collaboration that the program was deeply involved with. And that table, I think, still exists somewhere. It was a beautiful table. Oh, Rachel Miller-Howard, excellent. I'm glad you're talking to Michael Hebb. You can ask him all about it. Oh, and thanks, Heather, if there are videos. Cool. Highly recommend if you can find that video about with Liz Neely and Ed Young. It's also excellent. Ed Young is the science writer for The Atlantic and has been just covering COVID like nobody's business. Final question, woohoo!
Yes, we're on to the last one. And it's close, my goodness.
Ooh, Rini pulls ahead of Anushi. Boom, 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 boom.
This year is the blank annual Connect. Correct answer is this year's the 5th annual Comm Lead Connects.
It is the 5th. And as Ekin so beautifully put in the beginning, it's the second one that we will be in a distributed space and connecting across the miles with one another. But that is absolutely in keeping in the kind of adaptability that the program has. And so this question not only completes our trivia for tonight, but acts as a nice bridge into the next portion of First Friday Together. But before we do that, we need to see who won. Kirsten, who won?
Yes, let's find out. In 3rd place, we have AM.
Anushi in 3rd place.
In 2nd place, we have Rini. Wow. Oh, and then this is Liyao because sorry guys, I don't know why I did that. So Rini, it's you.
Go, Rini!
Congratulations, Rini.
How fitting that someone who has so beautifully handled our Instagram handles and other social channels would have the ability to come and, you know, deliver in such a way. Well done, well done. And Anushi, huge props, cohort 20, that's delivering. Very impressed. And Kirsten and Liyao, thank you so much for designing such a good game. And I think Jazz deserves some kudos for, I think, introducing Kahoot to Comm Lead. That sounds like a Jazz or Size kind of thing. Thank you, Jazz. Always bringing the good stuff. Like, how about we use Discord? And I'm like, what? And now everybody's on Discord. So Jazz, you are delivering as always.
Thank you all. And I think Liyao is holding the prize in her hand. And I suggested that we extend it to our top 2, if with your permission. Great. So our top 2, not only top 1, has won this amazing water bottle, courtesy of our program, Comm Lead branded and beautifully designed. And so enjoy and congratulations. And this was amazing. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Anita. And thanks to all of you that played. And we're celebrating all of you again. I've learned new things through this game. I thought I would win and I couldn't. Actually, there were like 2 questions that I was not 100% on. So the results wouldn't have changed even if I played, is the lesson I learned today. So thank you all. We'll have many more opportunities like these virtual interactions, but we will lead up to an in-person celebration of our 20th year when it's safe to do so, when we have everyone in one place. So stay tuned. We'll continue sharing with you details of our 20th year planning, and there will be a 20th year team or a link moving forward in all our events in the coming year. So thank you, but we're not done. So next up is our kind of engagement and preparation for the upcoming Comm Lead Reconnects. Again, as many of you have registered, I just wanted to share a couple exciting details about Comm Lead Reconnects. Well, actually, originally Connects, but Reconnects at this moment, right? We are trying to make sense, as we've shared with all of you, about creativity, communication, and leadership through a kind of an examination of our transformed world, a very timely event that we wanted to put together to learn from this moment. So all the speakers that we'll have at the event are going to kind of try to make sense of practice across areas and across sectors, and tell us what they're doing in this moment and give us ideas from their own professional practice about how to navigate what's coming next and what's in the moment now. Very timely again, and it really relates to our moment. So in just 1 minute, we're going to divide into subgroups or breakout groups and reflect in smaller groups about how that world has transformed for all of us. And these notes and thinkings will kind of inform our deliberations and openings of our Connects events. We will refer to these notes about how our community has reflected on how their worlds and professional worlds have transformed. But to inspire that conversation, I thought I would kind of share a couple insights that I came up with in prep for this. I think we're constantly thinking about where we're at, right? Our realities are perhaps more of the same than any other time before, but I had 2 or 3 ways where I kind of made sense of how my professional and also in general my world has changed that might connect to others in terms of making sense of again the transformation. The first thing that came to my mind is this idea of reconnecting. For me personally, I am for the first time in 21, 22 years spent more than a couple months in my country of origin, Turkey. I've been here for a year. I came for 10 days last year around this time. So it's the first time that I have had spent time here. But reconnecting with where you're from is one of many things, or reconnecting with your home, right? Reconnecting with something has been so apparent in our time, but it's also have been, in a way, let it be that reconnection or let it be other experiences, a moment of kind of understanding and experiencing vulnerabilities, right? So I'm here taking care of my dad in this moment, who's been kind of devastated by the pandemic, and in the country that I'm at couldn't step outside. But all of us have been kind of experiencing and thinking about many vulnerabilities of our own and of those we know of, or close and distant communities. So it's a very important moment, at least for me, to think about what those vulnerabilities are. And I've been thinking about that. I think it's a moment for me where there's still the fire, but it's I think that fire burns us out. So it's like the form of fire is like more in the form of burnout, and that's something that I've been saying a lot, and I've been hearing a lot of people reflect on, and that's something that I think we'll definitely talk about in the upcoming events as well. How is this moment making us work? Are we overworking? um, how are we working? Is looking at Zoom good for us? I don't know. They haven't done all these studies yet about 7 hours of talking on Zoom and what happens when that happens every day, and how that makes us feel. But no matter what, and this is my final point, is it has been a year of endless learning for me. I have done things I've never done before. I've never, from thinking about inventive ways of connecting with people I care about on Zoom, to thinking about how to engage our students when they cannot see each other, to learning about new tools of communication and leadership that respond to the moment. I learned a lot. And I think it's true to say it always has been, and it will be, Connects will be a learning platform. I think that what excites me about our community, amongst many, many things, is that opportunity to learn together. So let's do that, and let's learn from each other. So that's my segue into our breakout rooms. So what we want to do again is to give us all a chance to reflect on the broader question of how our world, professional worlds, have transformed in this past year. We'll use that as a connection point to each other in smaller groups. We'll have about 6 breakout groups, and your conversation leads, which is one of Comm Lead team members, will share with you a Google Doc, and or we'll scribe for you so you can see those notes as well. Again, I'll refer to those notes in collaboration with Hanson as we're during the opening remarks of the Connect event on March 17th at lunchtime. Join us and let's start the conversation in smaller groups. So if I'm not mistaken, thank you, Liyao, for sharing the Google Doc. Evelyn, who is so amazing at facilitating all our events, will create and send us to 6 breakout groups at this moment. Is that correct, Evelyn?
Yes, but give me a moment. There is some
Of
technical
course.
issues on my end, so bear with me for a moment.
No worries at all. So we will do that in just 1 minute, breakout groups. Another thing that I've learned over this time is to kind of be the types of things that could go wrong, right? I have done a lot of Zoom classes, and in each one there was something. Zoom compassion, exactly, Rini. The vulnerabilities of Zoom, even though it's widely used for now over a year by everyone, it's still it's still, in a weird way, sometimes break. So let's wait for our breakout rooms. But again, you can see in the Google Doc, and maybe you can start jotting down some ideas about what to share if you want to do that in the meantime. And there are two questions again that we'll focus on. One is about how your professional world has transformed in the past year, and the challenges associated with that. And then the second one is how we can leverage our platform to kind of address those challenges. So by our platform, we mean very many facets of communication leadership program. Also, as we're waiting for those breakout rooms to open, an exciting announcement that I forgot to make, actually there are two, is as of today, we have a new kind of track option, degree option confirmed, a Master of Communication in Communication Leadership. This is going to be, so we, as you know, we have Master of Communication. Many of you are pursuing digital media, many of you are pursuing communities and networks. Starting in autumn 2021, we will have the option for a 60 credit version of our program. This was designed in response to feedback from students who wanted to be engaged with the program for a little while longer, and also want to do a capstone and internship. So it'll be really, really exciting. And another exciting new kind of program, new opportunity is also I think applications will open in a month. We are launching a new graduate 4-credit certificate in leadership in emerging technologies and trends. So that will be available. That is not necessarily for our students, but for someone who wants to find out about the program. So yes, our breakout rooms are ready, and our information about all the things that I just mentioned are in the chat box. So let's start the smaller group conversations. Evelyn, let us know how we should proceed. Oh, I have an invitation. Bye, everyone. I think everyone's slowly returning to our main room, and we will say our goodbyes in just 1 minute. So thank you all for joining us today. It was a really productive and thoughtful and a conversation in our breakout groups. And I was thrilled to be able to get to know some of my upcoming students and some of my students from past, and also my colleagues. We had a wonderful conversation. I'm sure you all did. So again, these conversations will continue. This was actually also a simulation of what Connects will be like. Each session will be followed by smaller breakout groups where you will actually be joined by a number of different professionals. You'll have a chance to like opt into, select into a room of your interest area or random rooms. So there'll be multiple options in that larger platform, not just with our community, but with others joining us there as well. So this experience, I think, is kind of also was a prep. And thank you all for your thinking and sharing it with us as well. I look forward to seeing all of you as much as I can. I was just sharing in our subgroup chat, but I'm dropping it here to a link to schedule a time with me via Zoom or voice or other options. So I welcome any all way of connecting that is not exhausting, but that is enriching in some way for you all. So I look forward to seeing and talking and hearing and however form we choose to you. And again, don't forget to register for our Connects event starting on March 17th. Also, a fun fact, you'll get to receive a digital badge that you can display, as I shared with you in the email, on your LinkedIn profiles or elsewhere, that recognizes this opportunity, first of its kind at UW. There'll be more of them, but we are the first one to do this. So make sure that you register before spaces run out. Thank you all, and great to see all of you. And thank you again for being with us today. We miss you all, but we are relieved a little bit with your company. Have a good rest of your Friday.